Okay, Baltimore City Council Ways and Means Committee. We are here for 10 bills today. We're going to start off with I'm Eric Costello, Councilman from the 11th District, Chair of the committee. I'm joined to my left by Vice Chair of the committee, Councilman Robert Stokes, 12th District, Council Vice President Sharon Middleton, 6th District, member of the committee. To my right, Councilwoman Danny McCray, 2nd District, member of the committee. To my left, Councilman Ryan Dorsey, 3rd District, member of the committee, and Councilman Isaac Gitze Schleifer, 5th District, member of the committee. To my immediate right is Marguerite Curran. We have Dexter on behalf of Council President Nick Mosby, Sophia on behalf of Mayor Brandon Scott. We're going to start off, and Tiffany Macklin is online on behalf of Council President Nick Mosby. First up, we have Council Bill 23-0271, sale of property, 1101 Winston Avenue. Law Department approved for form and legal sufficiency?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Department of Finance?
We stand by our bill report, no objection.
Thank you. Department of Planning, favorable?
Yes, Mr. Chair, they're in support.
Thank you. And just a note, several of the agencies may not be here for this hearing today. That's because I called the hearing last evening at 5 p.m., so I excused all of their absences for those that are not here. Department of Real Estate?
Yes, Mr. Chair, they were not able to make it in short notes, but they are in support. Thank you.
They're in support. Thank you. Board of Estimates, this must be approved by the BOE after council action. Finally, Department of Housing and Community Development, favorable?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Stephanie Murdoch here on behalf of the Department of Housing and Community Development. I'm joined to my left by Ms. Kelly Bacala of our Development Division. We stand by our bill report in support of this bill, which would allow for the sale of 1101 Winston Avenue. The property is estimated at 7.2 acres. It's located in the Kenilworth Park neighborhood in the 4th District. The property is zoned R5 and it currently includes a 1-building unit, a former design school with 3 stories that included 10 parking spaces. Recently, the project was identified for award to Winston Community Partners, and they plan to redevelop the property as a $42 million development that will consist of the demolition of the building and the creation of a new community that consists of 3-story, 110-unit multifamily rental buildings for seniors and families, a new single-story standalone community center, and 32 single-family townhomes that can be converted to home ownership at the end of the 15-year tax credit compliance period. So thank you for your time this morning, and we stand by to answer any questions and in support of this bill.
Thank you. And colleagues, one note, this is in the 4th Council District. Councilman Mark Conway as well as Council President Nick Mosby are both supportive of this bill. Do we have any colleagues, any questions for our agencies? Madam VP.
So I know there's a park, I guess it's Kenilworth Park, that's, and then it says something about it's shared between Baltimore City and Baltimore County. How, I mean, is all that worked out within this footprint as well?
I'm not aware of the park actually.
A microphone.
I'm not aware of the park actually being part of the footprint of the sale of the
okay.
property, so I don't think that will be affected.
Okay. So the park itself is not a part of the sale?
That's correct,
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Colleagues, any other questions?
This is just on the sale of property?
Marguerite, do we have any public testimony for this one? We're only doing testimony in person. Anyone from the public who wishes to testify? No. Okay, great. Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill?
So, motion to move the bill?
Motion by Middleton, is there a second? Second by Stokes. Costello is a yes. Schleifer?
Yeah.
McCray?
Yes.
Stokes? Yes. Middleton?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with Burnett being absent. Moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council.
You're welcome.
Councilman? Showed up just in the nick of time. Next bill, 23-0331, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Department of Housing and Community Development in the amount of $11 million. Colleagues, if there's no objections before we get started, Bob, if you could just run through each of the supplementaries, what's happening here?
Sure. So I can just give you a overview of all of these since there's multiple items broken out. So this is a continuation of some of the bills that were heard a few weeks ago. This is surplus money from fiscal 22 in the general fund that we have made some decisions to spend on one-time items. So there are three today broken up again into multiple items. So the first one is for $11 million that would go towards vacancy remediation and impact investment areas. That's the $11 million. There's five bills total that add up to $5 million for BSIT for a variety of projects, infrastructure platforms, City Watch replacement cameras, and some citywide cybersecurity, among some other things. And Todd is here if we have any questions on those. And then for DGS, there's two items, a total of $17.1 million for city building repairs, capital improvements, one for City Hall and one for the Abel Woolman building. There's also one operating budget one that was submitted late last time for $660,000 for DGS. That's for some additional spending that they did in fiscal 22 on operating maintenance and supplies, building maintenance and supplies, of which most of those costs will be reimbursed through FEMA. So there's actually a total of nine total bills, but again, one is for HCD for 11. There's 5 for BSIT that add up to $5 million. There's 2 for DGS capital that add up to $17.1 million. And then there's one DGS operating item that's $660,000. So that's the sum of all of them.
Thank you. Okay, back to 23-0331, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Department of Housing and Community Development in the amount of $11 million. Law Department?
We approve the bill for form and legal sufficiency, and I'll note for the record, on all of these bills, there was an erroneous reference to part of the charter, and my understanding is legislative reference has fixed all of them. So instead of bringing that up with everyone, I'll just let you know that what we put in our reports, the issue's gone.
Okay, so what we have in front of us does not need to be amended, correct? Okay, all right. DHCD. So I'm going to look to you for each of these agencies that are not here, and I just need you to confirm, please, Sophia, that they stand by their report. Stand by their report?
Yes, they stand by
Thank
the
you.
report. Thank you.
Finance Department, favorable?
Yes, favorable for all of these items.
Planning Commission opposes?
Yes.
And already approved by the Board of Estimates. Colleagues, any questions?
Yeah.
Councilman Schleifer.
What did the planning commission oppose?
They opposed this bill.
Which one?
We're on item number 2 on your sheet, which is 23-0331, DHCD in the amount of $11 million. So Planning Commission's role on supplementary appropriations that deal with capital investments or proposed capital investments is to provide guidance to the City Council.
Okay. Are we going through, like with all the items listed here, are we asking questions on those or?
Well, we're going through each bill. At the moment, we're on this item for DHCD for $11 million. So
Okay.
we'll.
Yeah, because the way it's broken down over here, it just has the different items listed. It's not clear to me which one's connected with which number. So which number is this included on?
This is finance, he gave one report for all.
Yeah, so I'm looking at finances report. They gave one big report for all of them, so it's not clear which items on the report are connected to which bill numbers. But are we able to ask questions on just anything that's in finances report now, or would you like to wait to the end?
Well, for the flow of the hearing today, I'm going to call each bill to order. And if there's specific questions on that bill, that would be the appropriate time to ask those. And then I'll ask for a motion, and then that bill will be out of committee, and then we'll move to the next bill, sort of incrementally through.
Yeah, it's just not broken down that way. So in this report here, it has it has all the listing of all the items, and at the bottom it has all the bill numbers. And then when I look at the individual bill numbers, it does not itemize what each of the items are. So I have a couple questions about one of the items listed here, but it's not clear which bill number it is because it's a separate, right here. All the bill numbers.
Yep, gotcha. We're not on that one. I will make sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Okay. Colleagues, any other questions on this item?
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Dorsey.
I'm sorry. Hillary, can you clarify what you said a moment ago? I was just really curious.
Yeah. So when Legislative Reference typed up these bills, they basically cut and pasted from previous supplementals
Okay.
that referenced an old part of the charter, but the charter's since been amended on the ballot, and it changed the numbering. So we caught it in the law department, basically it referred to a section of the charter that doesn't exist anymore. It referred to like a B subsection 3, and now that same language is like in B2 III or something. So it was just a misnumbering. But because it was technical, and because this was totally legislative references, you know, minor error, they just put a new first reader version online. So the question is, you know, is it really the first reader version? Not technically if it wasn't on the desks of the council members when it was introduced. But at this point, because it's just a technical amendment, it makes no difference. They've gone back online and reposted the first reader version, and they've corrected the erroneous reference. And it's not even in the text of the bill. It's in like right under the beginning. It's not like it's even a part of the legislation. It's just what they're referencing as the authority for these supplementals. They referenced the right language, but basically an old version of the charter.
Okay.
So they went back and corrected it.
There is no need for us to move any sort of amendment to correct.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there could be an argument that if these weren't the versions on first reader, that they should, but it's much ado about nothing because it's
Yeah.
not even in the text of the law itself. It's just what legislative reference wrote down as the authority for this. Nobody's going to be confused. I mean, it was a typo,
I just
essentially.
wanted to,
Yeah.
it was unclear about it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, colleagues, any other questions on this item? Okay. Seeing there's no public testimony, is there a motion to move the bill favorably? Motion by Stokes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dorsey. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yes.
Stokes. This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0335, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Mayor's Office of Information and Technology, $1.25 million. Law Department.
We approve the bill for form and legal sufficiency.
Thank you. Finance Department.
We support the bill, favorable.
Thank you. Board of Estimates approved. Planning Commission opposes, disapproves. Sophia, you don't have to do those. I'm the council rep for Planning Commission. They stand by their report. Baltimore City Information Technology, comments?
No further comments. They're in support of the bill as well.
Thank you. Is there a motion to move, colleagues, questions? Is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
So moved.
Motion by Dorsey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Middleton. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yeah.
Stokes. This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0336, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Mayor's Office of Information and Technology, in the amount of $1.75 million. Law Department, approved for form and legal sufficiency? Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Baltimore City Information Technology, comments? Approved?
Yeah, they stand by their report. Thanks.
Thank you. Finance Department, favorable?
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its report at favorable. Board of Estimates approve. Colleagues, questions? Is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
Motion to move the bill favorably.
Second.
Motion by Middleton, second by Dorsey. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yes.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0337, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Mayor's Office of Information Technology in the amount of $1 million. Law Department, approved for form and legal sufficiency.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Baltimore City Information Technology,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
thank you. Finance Department, favorable.
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its favorable report. Board of Estimates approved. Colleagues, are there questions? Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
Motion to move.
Motion by Middleton, second by Dorsey. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yes.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0338, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Mayor's Office of Information Technology in the amount of $500,000. Law Department, approved for form and legal sufficiency. Baltimore City Information Technology, favorable.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Finance Department, favorable.
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its report of favorable. Board of Estimates approved. Colleagues, are there questions? Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
So moved.
Motion by Dorsey, is there a second?
Second.
Middleton, second. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yes.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0339, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Mayor's Office of Information and Technology in the amount of $500,000. Law Department approved for form and legal sufficiency.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Baltimore City Information Technology, favorable.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Department of Finance, favorable.
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its favorable report. Board of Estimates approved. Colleagues, are there questions? Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
Motion to move.
Motion by Middleton, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dorsey. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yes.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. CIO Carter, you appear to be fully funded. Council Bill 23-0341, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Department of General Services in the amount of $16,600,000. Law Department approved for form and legal sufficiency. Department of General Services, favorable.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Finance Department, favorable.
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its report of favorable. Board of Estimates approved. Colleagues, are there any questions? Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
So moved.
Motion by Dorsey, is there a second? Second by Middleton.
Yes.
Costello is a yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yep.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0342, Supplementary General Fund Capital Appropriation, Department of General Services in the amount of $500,000. Law Department approved for form and legal sufficiency.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Department of General Services, favorable.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Finance Department, favorable.
Favorable.
Planning Commission stands by its favorable report. Board of Estimates approved. Colleagues, are there any questions?
Motion to move.
Motion by Middleton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dorsey. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey.
Yes.
McCray. Middleton.
Yes.
Schleifer.
Yep.
Stokes.
Yes.
This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. Council Bill 23-0355, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation. Department of General Services in the amount of $660,000. Law Department approved for form and legal sufficiency.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Department of General Services, favorable.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Finance Department, favorable.
Favorable.
Board of Estimates, approved. Colleagues, any questions? Is there a motion to move the bill favorably?
Yes.
Motion by Dorsey, is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Middleton. Costello, yes. Burnett, absent. Dorsey,
Yes.
McCray, Middleton,
Yes.
Schleifer,
Yes.
Stokes. This bill passes 6-0 with one absence, moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. We're gonna, Councilman Schleifer has a couple questions on another supplementary appropriation. Bob, if you'd be so kind as to accommodate him.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Bob, I'm just looking through the report that you guys have. It just happens to be an item that I was reading up on the other day, and I was just wanting some clarity. I see it says Walbrook and Edmondson Village Shopping Centers, $9 million. Is that one ownership, two places? What's the?
Yeah, did you ask is it the same ownership for both
Yeah.
places? I don't believe so. These are two shopping areas in the city that we have some private investment that wants to come in and redevelopment, but there are some repairs that the city has to do to improve those facilities before private investors will come in and fix up those areas. So the $9 million is for both of those combined.
So how much is it at each?
I don't have the breakout for each. I can find out for you how much will go to each. I don't have that with me at the moment.
Have we ever done, I know like there's different breaks and other accommodations that could be made to spur development. Have we ever given a direct funding during your tenure to a shopping center like that?
I can't remember offhand. We have done some, capital improvements with the intent of turning something over or having private development come in. So I'm sure that during my tenure we've done this. This isn't the first. I can't think of a shopping center offhand, but we definitely do spend sometimes capital dollars to improve a building to make it ripe for development if we have interest in it.
Sure. And so does the city retain any ownership in these shopping centers for this $9 million?
I don't think that has been decided yet of what the structure of the deal will be. So.
Oh, so the deal's not done yet?
No, the repairs have to happen first. My understanding is that so the private investors will kind of build additionally and try to get those centers back to use.
So the city has an arrangement that dictates what repairs or what improvements need to be made?
Yes, but I'm not familiar with all the details. I can certainly find out those details and share with you if you have interest in either of those or both.
Yeah, definitely. If you can just send over that report of what that looks like, so I can understand what that is. Because I was reading over, I saw online that one of these locations was sort of like crowdfunding investments, and I saw one of my elected officials shared it, and so I was reading up on it, and the pro forma didn't really make much sense, and so I was just confused about what the arrangement is here and what that looks like. It wasn't clear to me, because this mentions the BDC, if the city is partnering in this like we do in a lot of different, arrangements. It just wasn't clear to me, why we were just giving direct taxpayer money to a shopping center, like what we're getting in return for that.
Yeah,
I
and
know both shopping centers need the investment.
Yeah.
But if there's private investors, where's the line drawn between what our money's used for or what their money's used for?
Sure, we can find out. I know the Deputy Mayor for Economic Development has been pretty close to this one, so I'll get the latest details. Now, this one was, I think, voted on the last time out, but was approved already. But I can just find out what the current status is and what where that is in the process.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And if you could please send that to the entire committee, Councilman Schleifer's request. Sure. Councilman Stokes.
Sure.
Okay. Colleagues, any other questions? Thank you very much. We're now in recess.